I am going to start by, I'll pass my own opportunity to ask questions at the moment, but I'm going to start with Senator Hannon and then go to Senator Marcellino.
Thank you very much. You touched upon three different topics in a very quick fashion, and I think that each one of them is worthy of almost a separate hearing. The question of the curriculum, now called Common Core, the question of how that curriculum is implemented and how the testing itself is done, and then third, questions of privacy, vendor selection, and all of that. I just think that there's a major lesson, however, for the Regents to be learned in this state, because all three of those vast policy decisions that have been rolled out in this state in a very quick fashion. And I think it's somewhat a little disingenuous for you to say that the testing in 2013 was not more than it had been, because somewhere I'm sorry, that's not an applause line for me. It's just that there has not been the engagement with the public, with the legislature, that one ought to when you're doing major policy rollout. Now, I'm just going to leave it at that, but I find that if you think this is working successfully, that's mistaken. We're not here for that. Believe me, I'm a politician and I appreciate the applause, but this is such a serious thing that we're engaged in, and it's the first hearing. Senator Flanagan, congratulations for having the first hearing, because we haven't had that before. And it's amazing to me that, here's the last comment I'm making. I get criticism of the Common Core curriculum by people who probably don't understand it, but are either on the left in terms of politics or on the right in terms of politics. And it's very unique that you could have united that group.
I appreciate that. And Senator Hannon.
I just wanted to put on the record, Mr. Chairman, that something that's obvious probably to people here, but maybe not on the outside, that what we're talking about is curriculum development, we're talking about testing, we're talking about privacy. These are not concerns, and they haven't been concerns for a couple of hundred years in New York State to the legislature. These are the things that are regulated by the State Board of Regents. We have tremendous fights about education when it revolves around the budget. Who's going to get how much total will be given, where it should be distributed, how quickly, even the state, the cap on expenditures. But we have not done curriculum. And what we're seeing today is evolving is something that moving into the legislative arena. And maybe it will happen. Last Friday in the Wall Street Journal is an elaborate story about what's happening in California. They have not abandoned the core curriculum, but they have taken the agenda of time that their education department has set and moved it back, taken away some type of assessment tests. And I'm afraid that this is what's going to happen because that hearing aid that Senator Laval wants to give to the state education department isn't there. So I just think it should be on the record that we're just moving into this because this is new territory for us.